Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of the DIY driveway respray. Today we will be doing the lower half of the van in Raptor. We'll also be doing the rear of the van in Raptor as well as the top bit of the side panels. Not the roof, but the side panels will also be getting done, as well as this front bit as well will be getting done in Raptor. Alright, so I'm going to throw in the time lapses now and then the videos will start. I forgot to do the intro and we recorded it all at weekend, so this is a mini intro to say welcome to part 2. I hope you enjoy the watching and I will see you at the end. Cheers guys! Right, so we've just been doing the prep for the Raptor, and as you can see, we've just found a little bit more rust down there. So I've just made up a new section out of some 0.8 sheet metal. So I've already cut out the rusty section and I'm going to replace it with this. Once we've done that, I'll take you for a quick walk round. So we've removed the bumper all the way around. The reason for that is the back of this van, I've already replaced the rear floor, the rear section of the floor. I've redone the tubs on both sides, and it's just better to be safe than sorry. The van, before we got it, was used by a landscaping business, so they obviously had a lot of cement, wet mud, and just didn't take care of it. Before they got it, it was probably a lovely van because the rest of it's in good shape. The last owner really just neglected it really. I think that's why they got rid of it, because they just looked at the rust that they'd caused and thought, yeah, no. But I didn't realise how bad it was because I checked it, it was night time, and I really wanted a jumbo with the 140 engine with low miles, which is what this has got. And because I can weld, sometimes you just take it for granted and don't check as well as you should do, which is exactly what happened here. So I'm going to replace that section like I have done on both rear quarters. We've took the bumper out. All of this section is obviously going to get sanded back and it's going to get painted Raptor. Up to here is getting painted with Raptor. This is getting painted the same as the rest of the van. And you can see now that we've started to mark out where the Raptor's going to go up to. As I said in part 1, we're having Raptor up to the sway line purely because it comes out so much. A little bit of added protection, and then I'm going to sandblast all the underneath of the car. That will probably in part 3, maybe part 4, depending on how much we get done today. I'll be sandblasting all the underneath of the car and treating that with Buzzweld CIO. On top of the Buzzweld, I'll also be black Raptoring the inner arches because I've replaced them and I haven't got round to sanding them back yet. But that's another job. For now, while we've got the nice weather, we just need to get all of the aesthetics done, so the outside of the van done, and that way we can do the underneath with CIO whenever we want to. We're underneath the van, we'll put a tent up, we'll get it done. But for now, all of the outsides, hopefully this will all be getting painted today. I've got a colour coded bumper going on as well, and I've got the M Sport lower valance. So there you go, take a look. once that bottom section is back colour coded without all the red splatter and the rust and stuff, it should look pretty amazing. And the fact that we're bringing it all the way up to here will just tie it in nicely. We've taped these up rather than taking them off. The simple answer is there's a bolt down there to take them off, and I couldn't get my fat hands to it. And on that side it requires you to take the ECU out. There's probably a better way. You can probably take the panel out to get to it, but because we're going the same colour, it will do, which is going to be something I don't like saying, but I can see that I'm going to say it a lot today because we've got a lot to get through. We're obviously going to be Raptor in the top as well, filter up there. You can see that we've already got the max air fan. We've already got the max air fan, and we've already got the MPK skylight, which is 700mm by 500mm. I think it was one of the biggest we could see outside of the max air fan skylight, but that was like £100 and odd more, and that one was still quite expensive. So yeah, I'm going to crack back on now. I'm going to play some more time lapse, but I thought now would be a good time to just stop in the centre of it to explain a little bit of what we're doing and why we're going this route. See you at the end. Okay, so now all the welding is pretty much done, and we've sanded all the panel. The GoPro died, so there's no time lapse of that just yet. When I bought the Raptor, I bought the slightly more expensive gun. It's called the Raptor Professional Vari-Nozzle, and it's because I don't want that extremely coarse look. That's something I don't want. We're going to go for more like this or that, so we're going to go for a slightly smoother look to try and emulate what the factory like rust proofing on normal cars would look like. I've never used this before. Like I said, I normally use Buzzweld CIO whenever I'm doing any sort of rust proofing, but because this is on the outside of the car as opposed to the chassis, we've gone for the tint-able Raptor version. We've got two boxes, which is 4 litres here and then 4 litres there. That should be enough to do the bottom and the roof, I think. We should find out shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix this up. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm just following the instructions, which says you need to fill this up with hardener, which it's not. Okay, so this is the hardener, and then we've obviously got the base coat, which we're going to be adding to it as well. Let's chuck it in, and then it says 10%, which I don't actually know where that's up to. I presume by the picture it looks like it's just up to the top there, so I'm just going to go up to that brim there. A little bit more. You should really just have a measurement and tell you what the measurement is, shouldn't they, rather than guessworking off the bottle. It literally just says 10%, but how are you supposed to know what 10% is? And here, there's no clear mark line, unless I'm being stupid, but I filled that up to about there. Put the cap back on. Shake for 2 minutes. Maybe I should get Emily to do this bit. She's probably got more experience than me. Yeah? Come and give this bottle a shake for 2 minutes. You've got more experience than I have. This video gets loads of likes. I'm going to set up an OnlyFans of me just shaking Raptor bottles. Wow, 2 minutes is a long time. Is it? Yeah. I'm done. That's been about 20 seconds. Right, I'm going to call that. It says to spray on the little video that I've just watched at 3.1 bar. So we shall see. Shall we have a quick look to see what it looks like? Well, it looks blue. Whether it matches is a different story. Right, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to put some gloves on, put my respirator on, and then I'm going to put a time lapse on. Emily is currently just wetting the ground. The reason that we wet the ground is because when we're outside, one, it stops overspray, because the overspray will hit the water and it'll sit to it. It stops dust getting brought up from the floor and from the car, and it also stops you from painting your drive, because paint can't stick to the concrete or the tarmac if there's water on it, so it sticks to the water and then you can just jet wash it away and there's no issues. So I'm going to get this on the gun now. I'm going to set up a time lapse so you can watch me do it, and then once we've done this side I'll turn the time lapse off and we'll have a look at it. Catch you on the other side. Okay, so one side is done, so I'll just take you around to have a look. I had a little bit through halfway through, I forgot to put my mask on, but it's been a busy day. You can see here that we've given it a couple of coats now. I might go over one more once it's dried. You've probably seen me not going typical spraying, which is normally side to side, the length of the panel. However, I took an approach that you'd normally do with like metallic silvers and stuff like that, which is like a drop coat afterwards, which is where to like you try and unify it. You go a bit sporadic, so you go sideways, you go up and down, you get further away, you do circles, and all it is to stop any of those lines. With the spray pattern, with the fan of the spray on this being more of a circle, so it fires out more like a spot as opposed to like a fan, which is a typical spraying. And I've seen quite a few spray jobs where they're like really patchy. So I wanted to try and eliminate that as much as possible. I know it's hard because obviously it is Raptor, but it looks alright. There's a couple down there, but I think you have to wait until it's dry, and if you're going to do it another coat, like scuff it back up with like a green pad or something. But for now, because it's hard to tell, I mean there is a couple of like wet patches up there which look a bit darker than the rest, but while it's drying it's too hard to tell. You've got hardener in there, I didn't put any thinners in, but you've got hardener in there. We're in a shaded area so there's no direct light on it. Might be a good idea tomorrow once we've done both, if we get to do both, because it's looking like it might rain and the other side isn't this far ahead. So if we go around the other side, this section here still needs to be sanded. This top section, the bottom section's already been sanded right down. However, I've had to add more filler onto that lower panel that I've just put in. So that's obviously a fresh panel, and we can't sand while the paint on the other side is curing because the wind is going that way, which is forcing it up, it's hitting the garage, it's coming back down, and it's sticking to the Raptor. So until that Raptor is drying, it says it's touch dry in say half an hour. So Emily's gonna carry on doing what she's doing, and I'm gonna watch. So I'll put the time lapse back on as soon as we start to do this side. I'll put the time lapse back on. Hopefully I won't forget to put my helmet. Hopefully I won't forget to put my respirator on this time, mask, and we can get it done, and that will leave tomorrow. We're going to leave the rear till end, so we're going to sand and paint the front, but the weather's looking a bit hit and miss tomorrow. It might be raining. We've got a gazebo which we can use to paint the front, but it's not big enough to paint the back, so we might have to just paint the front and leave the back, which is a shame because the roof can almost wait because it's the roof, right? But the rear really needs to get done, but that requires paint, which we can't do today because we'll wait for the Raptor and we can't do any sanding. So we'll get these Raptor done on this side. Tomorrow we'll try and do the front. If the weather gods are with us, then we will hopefully do the back. The roof can get done next time we get a nice day, because we need to go up there really and jet wash the roof prior, because Emily's been up there. I've got vertigo, so I've not been up there, but Emily's been up there and said it looks a bit of a mess. So we'll see what happens, but I'll see you on the other side. Hopefully we get to do this. If not, it would have fast forward to tomorrow and I'd be doing another introduction till tomorrow.